Hey, man.
We're new.
I'm in my new space. I got new internet.
Okay.
Doesn't get better than that.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are back for another episode, another season, another year of the Elder Trolls Gaming Podcast. If you are new, we are three brothers. We get together and we talk about gaming. We may also talk about tech and TV and movies and other nerdy things too. I am Take It Easy, Jono.
And I am Nasty Nate.
And I am Dandolph the Wise. And I'm back, baby.
Wow, look at him.
Yeah, it's been only like, I don't know, 6 months.
Yeah.
Like, people forgot who you even were. Probably don't
They're
even know
like,
who you are.
is Dandolph even part of the podcast?
No one
anymore?
forgets.
Do you guys still have a brother? Well, it is 2025. We've not recorded since. I had
End
to
of
check the
October.
calendar.
End of October.
November 2nd.
Mhm.
And a lot has happened since then. Lots of stuff
Lots.
we could talk about. There was Christmas. There was New Year's.
There's a
God.
baby.
Nate had a baby.
Yep.
We all had the baby. It's
We
our
all
baby.
had a baby.
Baby had us.
But there's lots of gaming stuff too. Lots of gaming stuff happening. But what's been going on here? What's good?
Boys.
Daniel's got a new space, some lights,
Yeah.
some fancy shit going on there.
Well, I'm trying. I mean, I had to use my old red floodlight for now, and we have to get some. I got to get some blackout stuff for the window above me because the sun's coming through a little bit here. But
Is that
for
what
now,
that is on the
right
Wait.
here, there's sun because I have a cardboard on the window just to
In
kind of
front of
block
you?
the light.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yes, good. Because otherwise it would just be blasting in your face.
Yeah, exactly. So I need to get something. But yeah, I have all my panels are up now, so I've got some. This is gonna recording is
Look at
gonna sound a lot better because I basically got a nice dome of sound panels on the ceiling here and on the sides. They're first reflection points. Got them on the back there. I got a new plant. Make it look a little bit, tropical vibes. A little Motel
Got a new
16.
plant.
It's fake. It's a fake.
I've
plant
got a
because
cactus in my bathroom, but we've got nothing to say to each other.
we had a real one down here and it died. It's so cold down here and it gets no sunlight. And I was
Yeah.
just watering
Yeah.
it, but it
Cactus?
fucking died. No.
So Alma can never like keep a plant, right? We can't keep plants. So her friend for her birthday bought her.
Well, good thing you had a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're a little easier. A little easier.
Her friend bought her a Lego plant. It's actually a really cool looking Lego.
I've seen those. They have those all over the place. Like
Yeah. Pretty sweet.
the
The baby's easy. You just put it on the
flowers
tit,
and shit.
right? You just put it on the tit and it grows. That's all it does. The
Like
plant, you
Lego
have
flowers?
to remember to friggin' water it. It doesn't cry at you, Baby
Yeah.
cries, stick it on the tit, it grows. That's all it is.
That's true.
Gross.
So I had an idea for a new section, a new segment. But we'll have to discuss when we want to do it, like on every episode thing, or whenever like we gather enough questions, and then we'll have an episode of what I am going to call Quick Quest Queries. Name subject to change. But
Okay, explain.
if you have a gaming or tech problem that's got you stuck, or you can't decide what game to grab next, or how to upgrade your setup or your system, or even how to balance your gaming life with your real life, we're here to help people. Okay, we'll offer top tier medical and psychological advice that you should take very seriously. Okay, and not with a grain of salt. You can go to our website. You can go to our socials. If you're in our Discord, if you're one of the lucky few to have been invited to our Discord, then you can drop the question there or on our socials. Whoops. And there's a way to even drop your question anonymously through our link tree. There's a new app called NGL, which allows you to send me anonymous questions. So if you have anything that's dancing in your brain and
Really?
if you wanna get the trolls to discuss,
Do you have to have anonymous? Do you have to submit it anonymously, or can it be? You
don't
with
have
the
to.
name. Okay.
like
But-
if you want us to know who it is, then drop it on our Blue Sky or our Facebook.
Oh, so you can't put your name on it. It's
No.
fully anonymous.
Yeah, the NGL is fully anonymous.
I mean, I guess they could just.
you could just
put
put
it in the
dash
body.
whatever. Yeah. But yeah, if you have any fucking questions at all, okay?
Okay, so we're gonna put that in the link in the description then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Well,
well,
that's easy.
I guess we'll gather questions and then we'll have an episode like just to give us a break of like trying to figure out what to do next. We can just have one of these episodes as like an Ask Us Anything or whatever, and we'll just discuss questions and do it that way. So we'll have a break for our brains trying to come up with stuff to talk about. This is what I've been working on to give us those breaks, because last year it was getting heavy near the end where I was just like and there was so much shit going on. And like making the notes and trying to think of something to talk about, trying to get us all to play the same game, to talk about a game. Like it got heavy near the end. And I think I want to apologize for abruptly ending the season last year. It's just that at the end of October, I just didn't have time for like anything. And
I didn't have
my wife was about to pop, Alma was about to pop, baby was about to drop, and I had to like separate myself.
Did we make a
And then
post
Daniel.
about that?
And then Daniel didn't have any fucking internet. He didn't have his
there was no,
space.
there was no
He was
fucking
gone.
way I was doing this anymore.
So,
yeah,
with
that was a problem.
So
I made a post on Twitter and Facebook, but that was it. We didn't really announce it in our last episode, so apologies there. New segment coming up. So if you guys got questions, drop us a line, let us know, and then we'll gather some questions for an episode.
Yeah, we're also going to start using possibly a new platform here. We'll see how it goes here after I edit this. Hopefully it will save me some work, because I am done with video editing the videos for 4 hours fucking every Sunday. It was horrible. Horrible on my body, my back.
Yeah, and we've changed the recording schedule. So we'll be recording on Sunday now, so the episodes won't be coming out till I believe Thursday. We're going to do every Thursday now.
whatever you like. If it's Wednesday or Thursday, doesn't matter to me. As long as, because Tuesday I have off, so that means I can like mix the episode and like don't have to rush in the fucking hour that I have at home before.
So we'll do Thursdays. We'll do Thursdays.
Hey, maybe this new platform can help you out there too, Dan, and it will be good. But I doubt it. I doubt the free platform, the free tier, is going to be any good in terms of audio quality.
We've been making money from vrrock.com, okay?
Oh,
We've made
shout out
60.
to our sponsors.
We've made 60 USD.
really?
That's like $400 Canadian.
Oh, nice. There we go.
Yep. But
All right. Well,
that's it
do you want to talk about some things that have happened since we last recorded? There's
Like
some
what?
things.
When games, you mean?
Gaming, yes.
Okay, so let's go over to game time and talk about that.
Gaming specific, yeah. Are we still doing a game time? Is that still a thing?
Yeah.
Of course.
I had a few things written down here that, off the top of my head, happened since November 2nd.
Yeah, let's do it.
And we had some things. We had obviously the Game Awards happened December 12th. We didn't really talk about anything. Obviously, we haven't been here. Are you familiar with what happened?
I think the only thing I really disagreed with was the Game of the Year, because it's just a show bought by Sony. So yeah.
It's
How could a platformer win Game of the Year?
That's what I was thinking, and I have it. I bought it. I've only played like the first few levels or whatever, but like
how revolutionary
same,
could it be? Like, fuck off! I'm tired of this shit.
I mean, it's good.
What's it called?
There's not a story or anything, so like
It's Astrobot. That Astrobot for PS5 won Game of the Year.
Oh yeah, okay, I heard of that one.
You heard of that one? It's Game of the Year, friend.
Well, I mean, considering I've been crickets, I've in Florida, in December.
You didn't have internet. I guess you didn't have the internet.
Yeah, he couldn't even game.
You couldn't even game.
I don't even remember when we got Starlink, so I think I still had it in October. I just couldn't, because then that's when I finally got it, that's when we were like, okay, let's take a break.
Oh yes, that is true.
Because you didn't even have it mounted yet or whatever.
No, it was, yeah.
I still have to play it. I mean, I'll play a little bit more of it when I'm done with
Then you
Kingdom
gotta-
Come Delivery 2.
Yes. Oh, you're never going to be done with that.
Yeah, I mean, which is just taking all of my time. Like,
My
it's
God,
crazy.
I can't wait. I can't wait to play
We can talk a
it.
little more about that after, but so yeah, we had the Game Awards. There wasn't really a lot there in my
What?
You know what I mean? Like,
I don't really. Nothing really.
We predicted, though. No one thought 2024 was going to be like a crazy year.
Yeah.
But like, there were a few games that come out that were like, okay, yeah, that was really good. That was really good. But like, in terms of Game of the Year contenders.
tier
Like
list.
no one was thinking like Astrobot was going to win Game of the Year, but that kind of like, you know what I mean? It
I
kind
think
of
a lot-
was indicative of the
Yeah.
year a bit. You know what I mean? Like there
That's
wasn't a whole
where
lot.
you mean like where that's the best they could do, kind of
Yeah.
thing?
Like what came out? What else came
What
out?
came out? I'll tell you what. I think
Indie-
it was a lot of expansions came out. The
Yeah, it was
Elden
like
Ring
remakes and expansions,
and
like,
DLCs, like the
like
Elden Ring
Rebirth.
DLC,
like
Um,
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth,
Diablo 4 DLC,
DLC, Diablo
Shattered
4.
Space DLC.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But it wasn't like there wasn't any huge games that came out, right?
Well,
Yeah,
Dragon's Dogma 2, was that not last February?
that was in the winter. Yeah,
Was it?
Pretty
I
sure.
thought that was 2023 Christmas of like winter or December.
It was February.
Did it get any
Oh,
mentions?
Space
Really?
Marine 2,
Space Marine 2.
Metaphor, Outlaws.
Oh yeah, Star Wars, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's not a game that like
There was
that's not a
no,
game
yeah,
of
there
the
was no like big block, but like, what was I waiting for you last year?
year. We were waiting for Indie, and Indie came out after the Game Awards.
That's right.
So
That's
it
right.
didn't even get a chance. It didn't get a shot. I would have liked to see, you know,
Metaphor
where
won
it fell.
best RPG, did it not?
Metaphor. Yeah,
Game.
again, not anything I'm really interested. So like, it was a pretty tame year, I think, up to the
Yeah,
Game Awards.
Metaphor.
But then my favorite game of the year came out after the Game Awards, which was Indiana Jones
Oh,
and the Great Circle, which we'll talk about later because we all
yeah.
beat it. Guess what, folks? We all
Yeah, wow. Can you
beat
believe
a game.
that? Can you freaking
True.
believe that?
Daniel
true.
beat it
Yeah.
this morning, this very morning.
Nice and fresh.
This
I
very
beat it in
morning.
2025. If I beat it in 2024, it would have been up there. So I'm going to give you a rundown of the games I beat in 2024. Okay? Real quick.
Okay.
Witcher 3, I beat that
Okay.
one.
Well, hang on. What time is it? How much time do we have here?
Don't worry, this won't take long.
Yeah, I won't. No. So Witcher 3, Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, another DLC, Elden Ring DLC, Space Marine 2 I beat, Dragon's Dogma 2 I beat, Metaphor I beat, Star Wars Outlaws I beat, Diablo 4 DLC I beat, Heavenly Bodies co-op game, the astronaut game. Me and Alma beat that, and I beat Shattered Space, another DLC. A lot of DLCs. My favorite of the year that I beat would have been the Elden Ring, I believe. It was so fucking good. But I don't know. It's tied. Phantom Liberty's up there. So I've got a tier list. I made
Of
a little
last
tier
year,
list.
you mean?
Made a little tier list.
You made
See?
this tier list?
Yeah.
Can't you share your screen? There's a share.
I'm on my phone.
You don't have it on the computer?
No. So S tier would be Witcher 3, Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, and Elden Ring DLC. Those were my top 3 of last year. They were so fucking good. Oh,
What? When did Phantom Liberty come out? What month was
summer,
that?
June. Phantom Liberty.
Check
Release
that.
date.
Jamie?
This in 2024?
Are you sure?
I
Huh?
don't think
Maybe
so,
not.
man. That was
2023.
2023.
Oh, September 2023.
yeah.
Yeah,
it
it's
was
like
Ah.
the end of
year-
the year.
it was
I
the
got all my
same-
years
It was
fucking
the same
mixed up.
month.
I guess I'll
Was
have
it
to
the
take
end
it
of
off.
the year
Starfield came
last
out.
year?
I have to take it off my.
That's right. That was a long time ago, man.
Gotta take it off my tier list now. Fucks.
Yeah, you need to readjust. You need to get a fucking grip, okay?
Get a grip on fucking
I'm just
reality.
lost. I'm lost in time.
All those tears will become lost in time.
Well, no one would have known if I played it in 2024.
Yeah, well, Witcher 3 didn't come out in 2024 either.
Right, but I beat that in 2024.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, so we got the game of the year, obviously. We have the Switch 2 reveal.
Yes.
Switch 2 reveal. It's coming out.
I'm
People are
gonna get one.
people are saying it's, what do they say, March? It's not official yet, right?
Easter. Nintendo is gonna rise from the grave like Jesus Christ and come and save us all.
That's what they said? They said that.
That's what I think.
Well, okay, so that's April, right?
It's gonna be the second coming of Nintendo.
Of Switch.
The Japanese. They're not Christians. They're Buddhists. I think.
I have no idea. But
like, Jesus
yeah,
who?
so that's coming out. It looks pretty much the fucking same, but it looks a little bigger. I guess it's a little bigger. I'm hoping the controllers are a little bit better quality, those Joy-Cons. Probably not. It's magnetic though. So I mean, they've improved on a few things.
Yeah.
It has a better stand. Obviously, it's supposed to be way more powerful than the what did they say? It's like 20 times more powerful or something like that. So
Wow.
they and it's going to get DLSS, which is good. So I mean, it's going to be really good.
It's going to be very good.
It's a no-brainer. It's going to be really good. It's going to sell billions and billions.
It's going to rely on that upscaling so wonderfully. This is what upscaling is for. These fucking
Exactly.
handhelds.
This is what
Yeah.
upscaling should be for, not
True.
for my $dollar GPU that you need to use upscaling on. Like
Megan and I play Switch a lot, so I feel like we'll get the new one, and maybe she can use my current one because hers is like a bit older, it's kind of scuffed up, whatever. But if we sell hers now, then maybe we'll make some back or whatever.
Yeah,
because we play a lot. So
I sold
probably
my
get it.
first one. For
I'm sure you could
$400.
Yeah, you could keep making money. You can make money off your old Switch because it's always the used market for Nintendo Switch shit is crazy.
I don't know. It was a pretty good deal. I had a lot of games on it.
Yeah, all my games are digital.
Accessories and shit.
So what happened was we keep bothering Alma's friend to watch the dogs. And she's always like, yeah, sure, no problem. And she comes to watch the dogs. Like, she's done it like fucking 10 times now. So then we're like, and her ex-husband, took the Switch in their divorce. Okay? Yeah.
He's
So
like,
now-
I don't want anything else. I just want the Switch. Just
They
give
have
me
like
the
a
fucking
house
Switch.
and
That's all he
dogs and-
takes.
Yeah. They had a
Children.
cat. They had all this stuff. Okay? They had a condo. Anyway, she had no Switch, but she has a bunch of digital games that she had bought. So she has no Switch. And she's pretty frugal because she's Dutch. So I gave her we gave her
Shout out to the Dutch.
my Switch OLED. So now she has a Switch. And then
You gave her your Switch OLED.
yeah. That was the only compromise. Then I was like, if we give her this, then we're buying the new Switch. And she's like, that's okay. I'm like, all right. That's it.
Okay, he said it.
You said that, though?
Oh yeah. I said,
I said,
Bitch.
all right. Well, that's Switch 2. Yep. We had the horrible RTX 5090 paper
my
launch.
God.
5090, 5080 last week, was it?
yep.
At ridiculous price points.
2 weeks ago, week ago.
Ridiculous.
But you can get it with a nice fridge and appliance combo at Best Buy
Yes, I did.
for $11,000.
I don't know if that was real. I don't know if that was real. That was just some post somebody made. Some stupid thing.
That is fucking funny, man.
What was
That
on
is
it? It was
great.
like a fridge,
Fridge, an oven.
oven, like kitchen appliances,
Yeah,
and then a
and then
5090.
an
It was like
RTX 5090.
$12,000. That I don't think that was real. But
That's
I mean,
fucking funny. Whoever did that,
could you imagine?
I laughed very hard. Very hard.
They're moving fridges.
Yeah, like to have too much fridge stock.
Yeah. Well, if you watch the Gamers Nexus video, they did some kind of they searched everywhere to see kind of get an idea of what kind of numbers there were in stock, like nationwide. So they used Micro Centers specifically, and they kind of came to the conclusion that there was only 233 cards nationwide at Micro Center
At Micro Centers.
of the 5090s. 233 across the US, which is fucking crazy. Like that's
and then
not
there's
a
a
launch.
few at Best Buys and a few at Radio Shack.
That's not a launch.
No, they're
That's
just
crazy.
bullshit, man. NVIDIA, I fucking hate NVIDIA so much.
Yeah, they're just
They're just
But
the
they-
scum of the earth.
like, why do you even bother launching?
Yeah,
Like, just
because they know that AMD is coming out with something really delicious for all you people who don't want to spend $3,000.
but it's not going to be that as good as that.
No.
Not that I like $3,000 is Canadian anyway.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Well,
Why would I spend
roughly.
that much on a fucking graphics card?
No,
I
it's
spoke
not.
to Gillis. Me and Gillis were talking. He's like,
Oh, yeah. What's Gillis saying?
He's like, no. He's like, I'm sticking with my 4080 Super. I'm like, good, because that's just as good as what's the
Well, yeah. If you have a 4080 Super now, the upgrade to DLSS makes it even
Yeah.
better.
makes it so much better.
And the 5080 is shit. It's like 5 or
Yeah.
6% better on average than the 4080 Super, which is like, why would you spend? It's $1,700 American.
Mhm.
Now you can't get a 4080 Super. You can't get a 5080 because they're all sold out.
Yeah, because
You
everyone's
can't
like,
get-
oh, might as well just go get a 4080 Super. So then they all got.
Yeah, so the 48er Supers are all sold out. The 7900 XTXs are now all sold out because people are like, fuck NVIDIA, I'm going to go buy
Yep.
AMD.
The 7900 XTX is what me and Jonathan have, is like on rasterization. So like regular graphics performance is almost on par with the 5080
Mm-hmm.
rasterized regular graphics. No ray tracing.
Yeah, if you're not looking into ray tracing just ruins everything.
You know what? You know what doesn't have ray tracing? Kingdom
I
Come
do.
Deliverance 2.
Yeah. And you know what
And-
else? That run. Okay, listen. Runs great, looks great, no ray tracing. Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I
No,
was gonna
there's
say.
ray tracing.
I don't think so. If it does, it's a very basic form.
Maybe, yeah, but maybe not. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does.
It run really well.
Yeah. It's very basic. Let's see.
Call of
Indiana Jones,
Call of Duty
ray
campaign
tracing.
ran well, looked great, no ray tracing.
Oh, right. There's a base ray tracing, and then if you have an NVIDIA card, it unlocks the I think it's the path tracing or the higher ray tracing options.
Okay, well, I played it on AMD cards, so
and it looked fucking great. Yeah.
yeah, looked great, ran great, no ray tracing.
Yeah.
Call of Duty, Black
No
Ops
ray-
6
yeah,
campaign,
no ray tracing.
looked great, ran great, no ray tracing. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2
Oh
looks
fuck,
phenomenal,
looks unbelievable.
runs really friggin' good.
Mhm.
No ray tracing.
Mm-hmm.
Do we even need ray tracing? Like, who gives a shit? Like, I'm over it.
I think I am too, but it does look fucking good. Whenever
Yeah,
you,
but I would rather the game run
So-
better.
so you're at that point now.
Like, I don't care.
I gobbled up ray tracing when it first came
it
out.
still looks freaking great.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys feel that way though because you are PC gamers? For instance, like ray tracing for me in Cyberpunk, for instance, on Xbox makes a huge difference, and like Spider-Man on PlayStation 5 and shit.
Yeah,
so
but you're a console pleb peasant. You're used to 30 FPS.
that's what I'm saying.
That's fine.
That's what I'm saying. So
can
you
play
feel
games
this way
at 30
because you're PC players, because you're used
Yes.
to like high frame rates.
Yes. I would say
Right.
Guys,
Correct.
now with Fluid Frames 2, I lock my games at 30 FPS and I turn that on and it's a smooth 60. And I have no hiccups, I have no drops, I have no nothing. So like if you're like for instance in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I can get around like with ultra settings, ultra wide 2K resolution, ultra wide, ultra settings, all that shit, right? I get like I don't know 70 FPS or so, right? 60, 70, just like that. But it like fluctuates, okay? So what I've done now is I've locked it at 55 FPS in their settings, turn VSync on, put it to 55, and it locks it at 55, and I turn Fluid Frames on just to make it a little bit more smoother, and oh, it's fantastic.
I have it set to native everything.
Oh yeah?
Native. I have fluid frames on. I'm running 4K. I have VSync set to max of 144, and it's really good.
I find the ultra wide hurts more than the 4K.
What?
Like 2K ultra wide is almost as it's hard to say because I can do 4K in like a box resolution, right? And it runs great. But like the moment I do an ultra wide, I don't find it runs as good as like 4K box. Does that make sense? Because I'll throw it on
how
my
many
TV.
Pixels?
I
How
throw it
many
on my
pixels
TV
are there?
downstairs.
Just do the math. Just do
yeah,
the
that's
math.
true. Well, there'll be more in 4K, right?
Yeah. So it doesn't make sense.
Okay, I'll shut up.
But
But
yeah,
anyway.
mine looks great. I've got it on my new PC that I built before the holidays. Got it set on the PC on the TV 4K set. No upscaling. And what a game. Looks great. Looks great. We can talk about it in a bit. I also want to mention one other thing that happened was the Fantasy Critic draft on Samurai Kibiji's show
Oh yes,
that I was on. Codename Good Game. Robin Kell from Gaming Duo joined and their friend Onyx, and we had a fantasy draft where we drafted games and to our team, I guess our roster. It's like a sports fantasy. I don't know if you guys don't play that, but listeners, if you don't know what this is, it's like a fantasy football or fantasy whatever, but it's gaming, and it's based on, you get points based on how high the game's review on Open Critic.
well, Onyx actually has a YouTube channel called The Gaming Resume.
There you go.
That's
Onyx
where he's from.
Gaming Resume. He was him, Rob, and Kelv. So I had to leave early, okay? This is what happened. I had to leave. I drafted my team. I drafted Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 with my first pick, my first round draft pick.
We knew it was going to be an absolute fucking banger.
Yeah, we had, because we've been saying this for a long time. We think it's going to be one of the best games of the year. Okay. And the way it works is you get what's called a counter pick. Everyone gets a counter pick. So the way the scoring works is if your game reviews higher than 70, is it 70? Yes, it's 70 points, like 70 out of 100. You get points for the difference over or under. Okay, so if a game you draft gets a 50 out of 100, you get minus 20 points. Okay. If it gets a 80, you get plus 10 points. Okay, so the way the counter pick works is you get a counter pick, and you can pick someone else's game. You have to pick one of someone else's game that you don't think is going to do that well. Okay, and they have to do the same, but you get minus points on your score for how much over or under it is, like the difference between your score and theirs, basically. It's hard to explain. For example, Kelv, after I left the stream, Kelv from Gaming Duo dared to counterpick my Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
They just don't get it. They don't get it.
Okay? So he counterpicked my game. My review came up. The reviews for Kingdom Come are out. Okay? 89% they got. That means Calvin gets a minus 19 on his score because he counterpicked my Kingdom Come that scored at 89. So he gets minus 19 points now. So he had also a game, I think he picked Civ 7. And it only got an 82. So he got 12 points for that. But he had a minus 19 from his counter pick. So now he's sitting at minus 7 points overall.
Ouch.
Because I dared him. I was on the stream. I was like, you guys counterpick my shit. I dare you to counterpick me. And he didn't believe it. He didn't believe I could do it. He didn't believe we could do it with Kingdom Come 2 Deliverance.
Who doubted me?
Yeah. So there you go. It's what a game it is. It's also, me and Nathaniel played through the first one over the holidays.
Oh yes.
Also,
I finally got around.
Yeah.
I kept playing it, and I
played it before, but
I kept playing it and never beat it.
Yeah, I never beat it either. I was not doing the main story, so I just went through. I finally finished it.
How many hours did you put in the first one? I think my total was like 65. I think.
Oh, really? I think. I don't think I did that much. But this is total hours of both playthroughs, though, right? Because I have it.
So like when I kept coming in and bouncing off, coming in total that I've played, and I think I bought it on Xbox or PS5.
Oh no, that's right.
Like
I played it on Xbox the first time. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I did.
Well, Daniel did too.
I played it on 1X. So
Yeah, me too. That's what I beat it on.
Okay, so on this one, this is purely my hours from Steam. I put 45, so it took me 45 hours to just kind of do some. I was doing side stuff too, though.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like a mainline grind. That's 45 hours. I already have 36 hours in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
What?
And like I'm not even thinking about
That's
the
crazy.
main quest. You know what I mean? Like the main quest is really good, but like I'm just wandering around. It's like being in Skyrim again. That's what it feels like.
Yes.
Like that's what it is. Because in Skyrim it was the same thing. I didn't care at all about the main quest. I did it like way, way later after I was already like explored the world, you know, over and over and over.
Good. That's good, because I felt that when I was playing the first one, I was doing a lot of that, obviously, and I was doing side quests and stuff, but I kind of beat the main story after X amount of hours, and I was like, okay, like, what else do I do now? It's a weird, I guess both games, I don't know about the second one, but it's a weird kind of world to explore too, because it's just so realistic. It's not a fantasy world, it's just like medieval Europe, so a lot of the environment is just meadows and like farmlands and stuff.
But it's
and
so
forests. But yeah, and I think that's a testimony to, the graphics and their world building, physical, which is really cool, because if you can get lost in something that just looks super realistic and you're like, okay, I'm in a forest. But like, I want to know, what happens in that forest? Did they put more? I'm hoping, if we're talking about Kingdom Come 2, though, there's a little side tangent. I'm just hoping that when I do play it, there's going to be more of like random encounters than there were in the first one, because I feel like the first one was kind of lacking. So I hope that's what they did for number 2.
Yeah, number 1, you had to be fast. The only time I ran into anybody was when I was fast traveling. If I ran down the street or in the forest or took my horse anywhere, I rarely saw anybody.
In the first one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. You see kind of people on the roads walking and stuff, but...
Yeah, there were. Sometimes there were bandits, but I would love to see more of that. I just want more of that.
I don't feel the second one is that different in terms of that, though, from what I've experienced. I mean...
Yeah, I'm not... So far, I'm only like 10 hours, maybe.
Really?
And I haven't even gotten jumped by anybody yet. Like, the only fighting I'm doing is in my quest.
Well, I noticed the fast traveling is a lot easier to deal with. It's a lot easier to...
It's faster, too.
It's way faster. So
Everything's faster.
Everything's faster. It's faster.
The herb picking's faster.
You still get jumped. Like, it can still happen. But I've noticed that even though it says, like, you only have a 35% chance to avoid these whatever on the road, it does. And I'm like, oh, I was lucky. Like, I just rolled a 75. But... You know what I mean? Or like a 65. But that's, I'm not often getting stopped. And it's a lot more like, oh, do you want to check out this thing that's on the side of the road? Not, these guys are trying to stop you.
Right.
Like some of the stuff is like, oh, it's an option. Do you want to stop and check this out? No? Okay, you can keep going. But it's definitely way faster. The horse is easier to control.
I have yet to get my horse. I'm just running around.
There's a bit of a different stamina system with the horse. It's not terribly different, but yeah. I mean, I've just been wandering around and
the fighting
doing side quests.
The fighting is better in the way where it's more like
it's a little easier.
Yeah, because there's less points, and I think the block window's more forgiving, like the perfect block window. In the first one, it was so fast. You're like, if you miss that perfect block, you waste so much fucking stamina, and you're just like, bleh. And you get fucking crunched.
I feel like they don't block as much either.
Yeah.
The enemies.
Yes.
Whereas in the first one, it was so hard to land anything in the first game.
Some fights would last like 15 minutes.
Yeah, it would.
Like remember that night under the tree where he like tricks you in the first one? You meet him by the pond under the tree, and he goes to help you with the counterfeiting quest.
Oh,
that guy. When I met him outside, he's
the
like,
German guy.
He's like, come meet me by the willow tree or whatever. I'm like, okay. That fight, holy fuck, it took me so long. Took me so long because he just kept blocking and kept blocking.
Yeah, it was hard to hit them in the first game, but in this one, it's much easier. And they added something that's called, if you use a sword, this is specifically to sword users. They added something called Master Strike.
No, that was in the first one.
Is that in the first one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people were complaining that like Master Striking was too easy in the first one. You could just one shot everybody.
Oh, well, it's pretty easy in the second one.
Yeah.
I just never. Well, I didn't use swords in the first one actually, so I guess I wouldn't be in a position to make that call. But I used maces only.
Yeah, you get like a massive crit, right?
Curious to see how much easier the second.
It's pretty easy. Like instead of perfect blocking, you just use your Master Strike, and it just does a counter attack and attacks them. It's like a parry and
I've yet to unlock that in the second one yet.
So that's what I've been using, and I found a really good sword, so it does a ton of damage, and I actually just destroy everyone now with
fucking Henry.
With my master, whatever the hell it is. Because I was in this tower, in this castle, and I was creeping around. My stealth skill is like super high. It's like 21. I'm level 21 or something, stealth and thievery. So I was just sneaking around this castle, just lockpicking, literally taking everything everyone had. And I guess there was like a bunch of knights that were kind of in one kind of wing of the tower. That's where they live or they were staying. and all of their like knight's gear was in their chests or whatever while they're sleeping. And I just skeeved all of it. I just took it all. And they had like sick armor and like a really nice sword. I was like, holy shit, this thing does a lot.
And you were able to wear it though? Like you weren't, because like how are the limitations?
I didn't wear it back to that town for a while until the hands disappeared.
Yeah.
Oh, they disappear on the gear?
Yeah, like if you thieve,
Do you have to trade it back and then buy it back from the millers?
no, it'll just disappear. There's a perk, also a skill to make that go away faster.
Oh,
so
sweet.
You can, if you're thieving,
Yeah,
a lot
okay,
of
that
stuff.
didn't happen in the first one. Like you had to like trade it to a fence and then like buy it back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, something like that.
I didn't do a whole lot of thievery in the first one. I was more like mace and melee and just
So was I, yeah.
pounding people. But yeah, this one I'm big time sneaky. I have a outfit for sneaking around. It's all black and like dark, very low visibility.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also pretty strong with a sword. So I mean, it's been super freaking good. Like, and I just started doing a big part of the main story, and it was really fucking good. And I was just like, oh shit! And I was putting it off, and I'm like, maybe I was sleeping on this on the main story because I was just doing side quests. It was like, oh okay, because you feel like you're like a hero
is right now.
You know what I mean? What'd you say?
I don't even know what the main story is right now. But
Well, you're in
anyway.
a whole new location, right? In a whole new
Oh, okay.
whatever.
But yep. Very cool. Very cool.
It's excellent. I haven't like I said, it's like Skyrim. It's like playing Skyrim where you just want to wander around and do whatever you want. Fast travel around. The fast traveling's easier now, so it's like I said.
I'm looking forward to that.
Even sleeping's faster and waiting's faster. Oh.
Yeah. Waiting.
Oh.
And I'm doing some alchemy this time around, which I didn't do before.
Alchemy's faster. Everything's faster. Like the alchemy, like the animations for the alchemy's faster.
It's still pretty slow, but
Yeah. Well, it was so slow in the first one.
really.
Oh, fuck. It was
Hey,
so slow.
Henry is learning. Give the guy a break.
Yeah, he's faster at everything now. He's just more learned.
Yeah. Well,
He can
I'll-
read.
I like how they did in how they kind of caught you up to speed in the second one.
Oh yes, I can talk about that. Yeah,
That's
we can
pretty
talk
cool.
about that. Are you past that part? Because it goes on for quite a bit. Like there's quite
Yeah, I
a
think
bit
so.
of the beginning where it allows you to spell everything out what happened. Like you can in dialogue choices.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you
I
can
did
say I already knew that, or no, what happened, or whatever, and it will say, oh well, this happened, and I didn't really realize it until I was like sitting there and I was like, I already fucking know all this shit. And I was like, oh, this is like kind of like a tutorial or like a recap.
A recap.
But it's
Good.
part of the it's not like a video, it's part of the gameplay. So you can choose to skip it if you want. Like you can say like, oh yeah, I already know all this. Or but it's in the flavor of like telling people kind of what happened, and because they'll ask you, they're like,
Like, where
oh
you're
really,
from.
what happened there? And you're like, oh well, this happened, and you can kind of, and it goes on for five minutes explaining what happened. And I'm like,
Well, I
Why?
might need that because I don't really remember like a lot of the particulars of the story of the first one.
well,
so
you have that option. It is
Good.
there. And then there is a video at the beginning that does a recap.
okay. Oh, nice. Good.
There's both.
Good
There's
old
both.
Warhorse. Warhorse Studios. Shout out to Warhorse Studios.
Man, very impressive what they've done. 89
loved-
on Metacritic.
Wow. Okay.
89. Or not Metacritic, Open Critic.
I loved watching their featurettes when the first one came out. Watching their featurettes about like their promo videos about the music, like the
They did that with
composer
the
and the
second one, too.
orchestra.
leading up.
Did
to
they?
the
I didn't
launch,
watch
yeah.
any of those.
There was a bunch.
Cool. So maybe I'll go and check those out because they talk about the armor, the arms and armor, and like the accuracy, the accuracy of it all, and what they based a lot of these models off of in terms of the swords, and that is fucking cool. Like if you're gonna do a game like this, you got to do that shit. I think that they only had
You
that
have
choice.
to because it's real. It's what happened.
Yeah, that's right.
Or like it's based
right.
on reality. Like if it's
It's
like
the
the setting,
only solution.
the whole setting and the world is based on reality. But like some of the world is really nice.
Like the buildings and the castles are so beautiful.
Yeah,
They're
but,
so
like, and I was up in a
fucking good.
castle, like walking by a window. There's a bunch of windows, and I like look out the window, and like you just see
Yeah,
like
it's so good.
rolling hills
detail-
and forests,
the
and
details
and like a little village down. Where I'm like, holy
breathtaking.
shit, man, this looks fucking. That's sweet.
Nice.
And I'm looking out, There's no photo mode, and I was like trying to take some pictures.
Oh, there's a photo mode. It's the most basic ass photo
is it?
mode. Yeah.
How do you get to it?
2 sticks in, left and right stick in.
I had no idea. I didn't even know
It's
that.
just like that's it.
It
There's
just
nothing.
removes the HUD.
Yeah, and you can float the camera around, but nothing else.
Okay. That would have been nice to know. I didn't even know that.
I took a few shots. Like there was the one castle at the beginning because they built this castle like on this hill, and it overlooks all this farmland, but it's like sticking out of the earth, right? This castle, man, it's so fucking
That's the castle I think I was in, and I was just like walking by a window. I was like, oh damn, and I like saw like the little village down below, and you can see for miles and miles, and I was like, this is sweet.
That's cool. I like that.
But yeah,
I like
Daniel,
that.
you're gonna have to
We're
pony
gonna-
up the dough and because it's more expensive on Xbox for some reason.
Yeah.
And we'll
That's
be.
all right.
I'd like to have an episode about that one, but like, it's gonna take a while.
Oh, yeah,
It'll take
you
a
gotta
while.
keep going.
Well, hey,
so-
I mean, I new changes in 2025. I've revamped my schedule, and I have set aside time for gaming because
Nice.
of my alternating schedule. Like Tuesdays is gaming day, especially on my short week where I'm off Thursday, Friday, but I work the weekend because I got to get some studio time in there too. But every Tuesday, I'm going to try my best to like just start gaming most of the day, so that I can at least say yes, I'm getting some done. I'll
Gaming
pick up
most
Kingdom
of the
Come.
day on Tuesdays.
I like that. I like that.
I like that.
And then I teach in the evening because, like, I don't know.
Teach
I have
gaming.
to sacrifice one of the days.
Yeah.
I can't just keep doing studio stuff.
I was surprisingly like everyone's like, oh, you'll have no time for gaming when you have a new baby. Like, yeah,
You've gamed more than Dan.
I've beat
True.
Indiana Jones. I beat fucking Kingdom Come 1. You know what I mean?
True.
Nate gives us hope.
Yeah. Whoever's out there telling people like babies are the worst, like fucking shut up. Okay, they're not that bad. Everyone's just a
Toddlers.
fucking
once,
pussy.
Once she gets 2 years old, maybe.
Yeah, maybe, but like that, you go out, you can actually go out and have fun with the toddler. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have been playing
Fresh
a lot of.
human babies are useless.
Oh, they're so useless. It's just this blob of skin and some cartilage.
Bones.
You know.
Some shit.
Some bones.
Yeah, but like, she'll sleep for 2 hours and then fucking game, right?
Fucking game.
That's it. That's it. You put her in the crib, put her down. Alma goes to sleep. Baby's asleep. I game for 2.5 hours a night. Like,
That's a pretty good deal.
how is that pretty good? How is that bad? I don't understand how that's bad. The only time it sucks is when she doesn't go to sleep, but that happens like maybe once a week. You know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always a sacrifice that can be made. Your sleep for gaming, right?
Yeah. Just
Now, what I've noticed
it's
is
usually health.
the people who complain about babies and how they're so hard are the people who usually get 12 hours of sleep a day. These people go from living at their parents' place, then they go and they move in with their significant other, okay, and they're still sleeping 12 hours a day. And they're like, oh, life's great, 12 hours a day sleep. And then they just have a baby,
wish, man.
and that goes from 12 hours of sleep a day to like 4.
How do you sleep for 12 hours a day?
I don't know. These fucking people. I think that's what the thing
What are you
is.
talking about?
That's what this. I know people. Okay.
I know people. I know the best people.
So me, I never got 12 hours sleep. I hated sleeping for 12 hours. I hated sleeping for 8 hours.
I hate going to sleep. I like to be in sleeping,
But like,
Yeah.
like in the morning.
I think me and Alma have been handling it pretty well, and I've gotten my gaming in. I've beaten a few games, even with a newborn. So there's hope
you
out
go.
there for everybody who's thinking if they want a baby and they want a game, it's doable. Okay? It's doable. All right.
There you go.
What's next?
We'll see how he says. Let's see what he says in a year,
In a year, yeah.
2 years.
And she hasn't even been sleeping through the night yet. Just wait. Just
Uh,
wait till she sleeps through the night. I'll give
Yeah,
you
there you go.
even
Then
more.
you can game all night and get no sleep.
Yes.
What else do we have? I think we only had one other thing here. Marvel Rivals taking over
Oh,
the internet. COD
It's-
numbers down. Apex numbers down. Overwatch way down.
well, it's still half the people playing Overwatch went to Rivals. Like,
What
it's
was
crazy.
it? 47%?
Yep.
47%
Something
player
like that, yeah.
base lost
Since
on
Marvel
Overwatch
Rivals.
since Marvel Rivals came out.
It's the same fucking game.
I know it's the same game, but it's just not. It's not like.
Yeah, you get to
FPS.
see your skins. That's what's so nice about Marvel Rivals. You get to see your character.
That's
right?
true.
But I don't know if I enjoy third-person shooter like that. It's
I
meh.
don't love it, but I mean, it was okay. Like I would never play by myself. Like it's not something I can play over and over again, man. I can't play. I don't know with battle royales. I can play them over and over again because the map is huge. You don't see the same thing every game. It's not entirely the same. Whereas like in Overwatch and Marvel Rivals, there's a handful of maps that you just play over and over and over and over, and they're the same like linear.
But what
maps.
I think what happens is the team. What's nice about Marvel Rivals is you can get like a team team makeup that what's the word I'm looking for? Helps each other, right? So if you get Star-Lord with
Yeah, there's combos
whoever,
and stuff.
yeah, there's combos of the characters. They stole that from that failed game that came out,
Concord.
Concord. They stole that from
Oh.
Concord.
I forgot about that.
They stole that from Concord.
Yep, stole it right out of Concord's book, and
Well,
everyone's
no
like,
one would know that because you're one of 7 people who played Concord.
"Yeah, I had a little Concord review." Okay, so the 5 people who watched that would know.
And the 5
But
people who played.
They did the same thing. Concord had the same thing. So Marvel Rivals, if you put a Star-Lord and the antenna ant lady and
Mantis.
the guy, I don't know any of their fucking names, but if you have them in a certain team, you can actually request people choose certain characters to
Yeah.
complement you, right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you get extra revives. Like someone will automatic revive you if you're Star-Lord and you're on this guy's team and shit like that. That's cool.
That sounds like
That
a pain
is
in the ass
cool.
to solo queue as well, though. Because if no one's
Yes.
picking your...
Well, you can be
Partners.
like, oh, someone pick these out of these 3 characters. And then if you do, you get extra XP, I think. Like
Oh, really?
you get shit for like doing the combo stuff. But like I'll play a handful of games and I'll bounce out, like, whatever.
Yeah, I just can't sit there and play arena or like team shooters over and over. It must be the maps. I don't know. It's got to be the maps. You know what I mean? Like even now, there's places in Apex on the maps that I've barely ever been to. I'm like, oh, I don't remember playing this, and like the end game will go there, and I'm like, oh fuck, I don't actually know this area very well, so I have to pay attention, and it makes it a little more interesting.
Oh, are you gonna pick up Nikita Blackpoint? What's it called?
No, but I saw that that's pretty high. Like,
Lots of people
what?
playing
How?
that. They had a sweet Witcher 3 crossover like last month, and the models,
must be
the
why.
character models look fucking sweet.
Yeah, because I saw that. What's it called? Naraka Blade Point.
Yeah, I played it for a little bit. It's pretty cool.
It's top 10 in games played on Steam right now. Top 10 users. Like, what?
Yeah.
That came out like 2 years ago?
It's pretty cool.
Anyway,
You know?
Nikita.
Dan?
there's a new season of Apex this week. Big changes coming. We'll see.
Wow.
I don't think that they're going to be good. I don't think many people think they're going to be good. They're lowering the time to kill, making it time to kill faster just by
Oh.
widely buffing, I guess, all the damage on all the guns. That's what they're doing. So, but that's what made Apex kind of in its own thing. The time to kill was not quick. So you
Right.
had to poke and be strategic, and like you can still one clip somebody, but that's only if they severely make like a like they're in the middle of the nowhere standing there.
Bad
and-
defense.
Yeah. But there also was the ability to, once you get shot, oh shit, I'm getting shot, I have to get out of here. And if you have a movement character, you can go to cover. You can reset, which is not something that you can really do in COD. You can if the person is really bad, but in Call of Duty, the time to kill is so fast that if whoever shoots you first, whoever shoots who first, generally wins the gunfight, which I
No, I disagree. If
absolutely
I'm playing,
fucking hate it.
they always have faster.
Yeah, Daniel starts shooting, but he always ends up.
that's
I
you.
always
You
fucking
don't-
die.
You don't play Call of Duty.
I disagree. That is not my experience.
But that's the experience generally. It just lowers the skill ceiling a little bit, and I'm very skeptical on how it will feel. But that comes out on Tuesday. But like all the pros are just saying like that's not what the problem of the game is. Why are you changing this? Like
They got to bring more people in to spend money. They don't give a fuck, man. EA
they
doesn't
get
give
more
a shit.
people in. The reason people quit is because the solo queuing right now is so hard compared to playing with a team. They want the devs to separate the queues between pre-made teams and people who are solo queuing, which I don't think would ever happen because
That would take too long. The
The
queues
queue times would be insane.
Yeah.
Because like, how many people are really playing
in
with
full
a full
groups.
team?
Nobody.
Like in the higher ranks, maybe, but their queue times are going to be way, way longer, and then they'll complain about that. So
Yeah.
there's
That
no
game.
real. I don't know. I don't know if this will make it better. Probably not. Anyway,
All right, Dan. Before we move over to I guess main topic, because we got to get going here. Anything you want to put in?
Not really. I've been blasting away at our main topic game for today.
so what are you playing next then?
Wow.
Kingdom Come,
I
obviously.
I definitely want to queue that up because I've been playing Shattered Space a lot actually,
Oh, right.
on top of Indie or kind of.
How do you like that one?
Really?
I took a
haven't played it
break
yet.
from it to play Indie, but it's cool. Like I've been finding it, and I don't know if it's because of my sessions I've been like distracted. I don't know, but I've been finding like I'm not sure I'm following exactly what the fuck is going on in terms of like the story. All I know is that the house, I think it's the House Varun, like discover some crazy like portal or something that has to do with like a grav drive that is like a new technology or some shit. I don't really remember. And it has to do with like a plane of existence kind of thing and traveling between the two. That's what I'm gathering, and there's some issue. Honestly, I should fucking watch a video about it.
It's not very long. You can blast through it, but like I found it
didn't play
very hard as well to keep like it's even though for a smaller kind of story thing, I was like, what?
You found it convoluted,
Like what is happening?
but I just don't know if that's because sometimes when
I think
I'm
that's
playing,
what a lot of people said about it.
really.
There's like no real story. I thought.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, blast through it.
Yeah.
There's new weapons in it that are really cool. I used the pistol. There was a new pistol that I used. It was fucking sweet.
I don't know. I've been enjoying the environments and like just playing it again and kind of the combat still because of my combat build. So I've just been enjoying jumping back into it and being in kind of a different environment because like you're on House Varun planets and
House
you're in their
Varun.
like community now. And you're getting to know who they are I think that's kind of what I'm enjoying the most is getting to know who they are as a faction, like as a culture.
Yeah.
That's really cool because
And, like,
you
the
start to
three
learn like
factions.
like you learn about the Great Serpent being their deity and like what it means to worship it and what you have to do. Like you have to go through an initiation and it's like a rite of passage. I thought that was cool because it again is adding depth to the world building. So it's something I wouldn't have known if I never played it, but only played the first one. So it's adding to it in that way. I don't really think I'm like super invested in the story. I just want to play it and be like, well, I played it, I beat it, I liked it because of X or Y. But yeah, that's really all I've been doing. Other than that, just like fun stuff on Switch in terms of gaming, anyway.
Well, get ready. Get ready to hop back in to Bohemia.
I'm very
14th
very
century
much
Bohemia.
looking forward to seeing Henry again.
Oh, Henry, man. All right. Well, you want to go talk about some Indiana Jones?
Let's
Yes.
do
The
it.
Great Circle? Do you want to do a VR rock?
Yes.
Do we do that? Do we still do that?
We still do that. It's our main source of income at the Elder Trolls Gaming Podcast.
Everybody go buy a PS VR 2. You can use it on your PC now.
Man. Speaking of that, it went on sale like 50% during the holidays.
Yes, it was on
That
sale.
that was a fucking steal. Whoever
Yeah, it was
got their
like-
hands on
what
that.
was it, like $250 or something, or $300?
No, it was $800. It went down to $350. Yeah,
Yeah,
$400
$350.
or something. Fucking crazy. It was crazy deal. Crazy deal.
All right.
Crazy.
Hello, everyone. We are thrilled to announce an exciting new partnership with VRRock.com. Get ready to enhance your VR experience with VR Rock's protective lenses available for both prescription and non-prescription users. As a fellow VR enthusiast, I opted for their blue light canceling lenses. These lenses are designed to protect my PSVR 2's stock lenses from scuffs and scratches while helping to reduce eye strain caused by prolonged exposure to blue light during extensive VR gaming sessions. Installing VR Rock's lenses is a breeze, a simple click and a magnet snap, and you're all set for a comfortable and immersive VR adventure. The best part, our friends at VRRock.com have a special offer for you guys, our listeners. you can head over to vr-rock.com. That's vr-rock.com, and by using the coupon code ELDERTROLLS on checkout, you'll enjoy an exclusive 10% discount on your order. vrrock.com ships worldwide, and all their products are tax-free. We extend our sincere gratitude to vrrock.com for supporting us and making our VR experiences safer and more enjoyable. So don't miss out. Grab your VR Rock lenses and get ready for an unforgettable gaming journey.
All right, we're back. So, Nate, I'm going to let you lead this since you have the review.
Yeah.
You wrote a review.
I had actually written a review for this that I was going to make a video on, but of course I
All right, well, take us through some talking points and we'll all talk because we all experienced the full game.
Perfect. All right, so I played this. I rented it on Game Pass. Not a massive fan of the Game Pass restrictions on PC. Like
What do you
what was it? The
Restrictions
launcher and just like the I can't remote playing a Game Pass game doesn't like work properly.
Ugh.
So I had to set up my computer to play it, or I had to install it on my Legion Go, etc. But usually I'll install games on my PC and I'll remote play them. Everyone knows that. But this game, I could not remote play. It was stuttery as all fucking hell, and I think it's because the permissions on the Game Pass folders and shit like that. And there's just so much restrictions on.
I tend to avoid
Yeah.
the Windows Xbox app if I can.
Yeah.
It just is so stupid.
With that being said, whatever. Oh, also I couldn't turn on Fluid Frames 2 for this because it was a Game Pass game.
What?
Yeah.
I bought it on Steam. I bought it full price.
So even like this driver side shit, I couldn't turn on for Indiana Jones because it's a Game Pass game. It can't. The AMD app can't get access to that folder, right? Because all the restrictions on it.
Yeah, because it's that stupid folder structure.
Yeah. So that's what I mean by restrictions. But yeah, what was it? $90 on Steam. I just rented it on Game Pass, so I played it on there. What about you guys? Jonathan bought it on Steam. Daniel, Game Pass?
Definitely Game Pass, yeah.
See, I'm the only one supporting them here in this podcast. I'm supporting these guys.
I'll get it when it's a little cheaper.
I'm supporting them, saying that we want Indiana
money
Jones
from Xbox. I'm pretty sure they're making bank. I'm pretty sure Phil Spencer.
They're not making anything. They don't even know how many copies that people actually played, probably because they're on playing.
Well, that stat is now so skewed because of Game Pass and all these launchers. Like you can't.
Although I heard that Disney said they want more because of this success, that the positive vibes, positive energy, positive.
Wait, Disney what? Disney wants more of what?
Wants more Indiana.
Wants more, unlike another game or something.
Yeah.
I definitely went with Game Pass because I knew that I was just going to golden path this. Like it wasn't a game where I was like, I want to get super lost in this like Kingdom Come or something, right? So I was totally fine with the Game Pass.
It's a different feel.
Different
it's
game.
So it's not quite as open world.
Yeah. It's like a linear open world. It's
like an open level.
Yeah.
Open level.
Do you guys know how many hours you got on it?
28.
Oh yeah.
Let me check.
What did I get?
I did a lot of side quest stuff though.
Oh really?
Like in Rome, I almost did everything. In Rome, I did almost all the side shit, and in Egypt, I did a bunch of it. And I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna because I was kind of wasting my time sneaking around everywhere, getting caught by Nazis.
Yeah, so I was around 20 hours.
I have 22 hours, 56 minutes.
Yeah,
so 23 hours.
Yeah. Same about for me.
But I mean, I think it's a great game to Golden Path. Like,
oh yeah,
like the story is. This is the first game in a long time where I was like, all right, I want to
know more. I want to see more. Yeah,
I want to see what happens more. Since probably like
Uncharted or something.
Uncharted or like the God of War games, maybe. Like where I wanted to freaking keep playing and see where it was going. But yeah, it gave me that kind of feeling in terms of the story and just like how much I wanted to play it. Like they don't give you that much incentive. There's a couple of cool side quests that kind of relate to like what's happening, but for the most part, it was main story. But it was just phenomenal story. Very
what about preconceptions of this game? Like when you first heard about it, they're making an Indiana Jones game. You know, you're like, ugh.
We weren't like that.
I was at the beginning. I was like, really? I was like, don't fuck up Indiana Jones.
I was
the
like,
movie's
oh,
fucked.
I want to play this immediately. That's what my thought was.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
It took me a couple of trailers, or it took me like a little bit. Like whenever they first showed us that big showcase of it, I was like, oh yes. I was like, here we go.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that because it came out of nowhere for me, I was just like, is it going to be like Uncharted then, where you're doing a lot of, adventuring and questing, or not questing, sorry, puzzles kind of stuff?
Yeah.
But then I saw
That's
some
what
of
I
the
assumed.
footage and I was like first person, because I immediately pictured third person immediately whenever I kind of first heard of it. I remember being like, okay, so it must be third person, Lara Croft kind of thing, Nathan Drake. But then, Bethesda, they're pretty experienced in their first person. So I was like, oh. But then they pointed out that when you do like climbing the rope, it's third person and shit. I was like, that's cool. So I didn't really know what to expect in terms of the actual game itself. But once I started seeing those, I was like, okay,
Let's
first person kind of action.
Yes, let's talk about that. So, agreed with the first person? Everyone was agreed upon first person,
Yeah,
or would you rather them give you an option to go third person, or did it not matter to you?
I mean,
I don't
that
know.
would have been, welcome, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think
I
it was
love-
I
Loved it
feel like
in
I would have
first
loved to
person.
see that leather jacket and
I
that
think I'm
hat,
just getting
like,
used
flopping
to the
around
first
and-
person,
I love the first person. It's so
Like,
much more immersive.
I just played through Kingdom Come. It's first person, fully first person. Cyberpunk, fully first person.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
Of course.
this is just a thing that's normal now, I think. It's just a normal thing. It doesn't have to be a shooter,
will
but it can still be first person.
Yeah, I will say that the perspective doesn't break my immersion, though. If it was third person, it would be just as immersive for me
I don't
personally.
think so. I don't think so.
But
Really?
first person was cool because you can see things in closer detail, and so I like that. Because you're closer to
The puzzles,
artifacts,
and the
or
puzzles and
puzzles.
stuff.
You can see things in it. The camera isn't fucking with you, so
Yes, that breaks
I
immersion.
understand that. Yeah,
So I found if it would have went in third person, it would have been less immersive.
Yeah.
Just because like no one can get a camera right ever.
Well, it's your view. It's literally
That's my
like
view, yeah.
you're not seeing somebody. You're seeing what you would see
Yeah,
in that position, which is why
I loved it.
It's
I loved it.
that's what it's supposed to do. It's immersive. And when you're standing
That's true.
there in the Sistine Chapel
Oh,
and you're
fuck.
looking around
So good.
and you're seeing friggin' Da Vinci,
I think so. Michelangelo,
Michelangelo.
one of them.
One of the Ninja Turtles.
One of the turtles did it. Surprisingly, I was like, this is really small. Like, it's a lot smaller than I thought the Sistine Chapel was.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought it was this huge fucking thing, but it's actually just kind of a small
And-
room.
Even though it's a small room, and you take a look at what's been painted, like that's absolutely insane. I haven't been there in person. I'd love to go, but I think my brain would just melt if I looked in there and just looked up and this guy painted every inch of that fucking ceiling.
Yeah, it was
Do they
crazy.
even let people in there? Is
Do
it
they?
even because Rome is weird with their tourism? They don't let
Yeah.
you film shit unless you buy a permit.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
certain
yeah.
buildings.
Oh,
Even if I see it with my own eyeballs, I wouldn't have to film it.
You're not allowed to film the Colosseum, I don't think.
Yeah,
or
that's
around
true.
the Colosseum.
Right.
But yeah, it was just I had no idea where the game was going to take us either. Like I had no preconceptions of that.
Mhm.
Like I don't even think I
Like,
knew.
what is the Great Circle?
Yeah, what is that? What I
Yes.
didn't even know that we were going to be in Rome. You know what I mean? I didn't know where we were going.
Yeah, and that's always the thing. Like when you're watching indie movies,
Yeah,
you're like,
where's
"Ooh,
that map gonna
where
go?"
do they go?
Yes,
again?"
exactly. That's what it was so cool. In the beginning, you start off in like the museum or whatever, and you're like, all right, where are we going? And like someone breaks
Yeah.
in or whatever it was. And I was just like, oh my God, let's go. We're going to Rome. I was like, okay, sweet. And like
Yeah,
it
that
shows
was
them
awesome.
all the line. Man,
So
when you
good.
get there and you're sneaking around Rome, I wonder how accurate it is.
Probably pretty accurate.
Because it's Vatican City, right? It's
Yeah, it's its own state,
it's its own
right?
it's
So
a
they
real
have to
place.
kind of-
So I wonder how accurate it was in the game. Because I've never been. I don't know.
When I came in here, after watching the videos, I was like, oh, this is going to be like a cartoony, stylized, like graphical, like how they're doing the graphics. But when I started playing, it wasn't as cartoony, as I thought it was going to be.
yeah,
I
I
didn't
thought
think
it had
that
a
way.
weird stylized look to it at first, but
But then it grew on me, and it
Not-
looked magnificent.
You
This
thought it was
game
stylized? I didn't think it was
I
stylized.
thought so.
No,
But
when
maybe
I
that
when I was
just
watching all these trailers and videos, there was like this weird thing. It looked like it was like cell shaded in a weird way, where it was very like the
pasty, almost, and
almost
like,
pasty,
kind of just really colorful and
yeah. But
And I
when
was
when we started playing, like this looked sweet, very very cool.
oh my god, looks
so
great
good.
in HDR
Yes,
on the television on the OLED. Very good.
There was no HDR on PC.
well, there would have been.
Oh.
There was with the auto HDR and the Game Pass. Like,
Yeah, but
it's
that's
just
not real.
like whatever. Yeah,
Also, yeah, Kingdom Come doesn't have it either. I don't
Yeah.
think.
but
Really? No HDR?
I
The
assume
lighting-
the consoles have it just because they always
Yeah.
do for
You're
consoles,
hooked
because
up to-
that's
yeah, yeah.
literally what they like. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Is 4K HDR gaming. That's what they make that shit for. But like on PC, nobody's using HDR on PC.
that's true.
Hmm.
That's true. Not a lot of people do.
Although I think maybe OLEDs are coming more popular, so maybe we'll get as the prices come down, kind of. But mini LEDs, coming
mini
out
LED,
new,
yeah.
and their prices coming down. Hopefully, we'll see the developers take more of an interest in mastering the HDR on PC now, because it's been wishy-washy over the last.
There are mods that inject certain color grades and shit like that can like help with it. But that's as far as you're gonna get. Anyway, the lighting was unbelievable in the underground passages, in the tombs, in oh my god, they nailed it. Holy
Tombs.
fuck, they
The
fucking nailed it, man.
catacombs. We were in catacombs underneath Rome.
Yeah, man, the fires, that's just unbelievable. It was so
Sneaking around.
Yeah, and they give you a lot of fun with that. Like they lean into the
the
here's
torches.
a torch.
Oh man, the torches.
Use
were
this
so
in the
good.
dark,
Yeah.
or here's a lighter. Use this in the dark.
Yeah,
so
the
you
lighter.
really kind of
Lighter lighting the
Just walking around
spider
with a
webs and
lighter.
stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
man, it was
Yeah.
so good.
very cool.
The environment's extremely well done, inside and out. Just like the detail on everything, so much detail. The rocks, the stonework, the buildings. You know, even whenever it like zooms out and it shows him during like a cutscene, like the leather jacket.
Yeah.
yeah, the laying on the
Oh,
leather jacket or
man.
the hat.
Yeah,
or
it was
whatever.
good.
I
It was
love
really
that.
Very,
And in
very
4K,
good.
playing in 4K was
Yeah.
sharp.
Very cool.
Real
very
sharp.
cool. And then whenever those like trademark indie facial camera sweeps, you know, where he gets, he's like, and then the light goes over his eyes. Oh man, it's so good.
And
But you mean like when you see like the glint in his eye
When he
kinda
picks
thing in the
something up,
dark?
when he picks something up, and he's
Yes.
like had
Oh.
this, when
yeah,
he has
it's like
this
the,
like
the epiphany moment.
yeah, the epiphany moments where he's like,
He's like, wait a minute.
yeah, and it's like the lighting they do, they
Oh,
they
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of like put the light on his eyes and they kind of shadow everything. Oh, they did such a fucking amazing.
Yeah, they
job.
really did. They did. Like when you're playing it, you're like, I feel like I'm watching
Yes.
an indie movie. Like this is exactly everything down to the music, which I don't know if you guys want to get into at some point. I don't have any concrete thoughts, but I just mean like the whole experience as a cinematic one as opposed to a video game.
Mhm.
You're just was great.
Yeah. I mean, if someone could sit there and watch you play the main story,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, if they were a fan of Indiana
Yes.
Jones, they could just sit and like,
Alma wanted to, but she gets like motion sick if it's first person. So
Yeah.
she'd watch for like 10 minutes. She's like, "This is good, but I can't watch anymore."
Yeah.
I was sitting there watching cutscenes, and I put the controller down, and my screensaver would fucking go on. Some reason, I don't know why, but because I hadn't touched the controller in a while, because I'm sitting there watching the cutscenes, and my
Okay.
controller would shut off. Well, yeah, like the cutscenes
Cutscenes
were
were
so
that
good.
long.
Yeah,
I remember
that they were like some of the cutscenes.
You could
were long.
move. Couldn't you move the camera in some cutscenes? Like you could just kind of.
No, I don't think so.
because
Just
on
some
Xbox-
of the story cutscenes,
Oh.
like where you're
Yeah.
sitting.
No. Not. Yeah. Right. That's true.
But yeah, they're
Not an
phenomenal.
actual cutscene.
Yeah, graphics phenomenal, fantastic, looked great. One of the best games I've ever like seen, like visually, beautiful game. Performance on PC was great. It was,
I was
excellent.
shocked.
It was excellent.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, even on console.
Yeah.
I think I had.
Did they have
It
a 30?
felt like
did they have
60 all the time.
version
Yeah, it was 60.
What?
on console? Was it 60 FPS? Do we know?
That felt like it. Yeah.
Wow, man, they nailed it. The
Yeah, it
4K.
was,
I was
actually shocked.
I was running this 4K
runs-
ultra wide.
And I'm running,
This
yeah, I
one.
was running 4K on the TV.
I was running 4K ultra wide.
4K ultra wide.
Yeah.
Why were you running 4K ultra wide? You don't
'Cause
have
I
a 4K
fucking
ultra
can.
wide monitor.
Well, it's like fake 4K where I can like set my desktop to 4K resolution, and it squishes everything. Right. It's like
How
a
do you do
super
that?
resolution. So it was like more than 2K ultra wide, but probably not real 4K ultra. But man, holy crap! And it still ran over 60 FPS.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting it when I started playing. Like when I
this is gonna
first
be
loaded up, I was
bullshit.
like, oh, even in like daylight in a city or whatever, it wasn't just like a, if you face the fucking wall at 60 FPS kind of thing. It was, like,
Yeah.
it was everything. I was
I
like,
think
oh.
they were able to do this because they optimized it for the Series S as well, right? So if you optimize lower, then it's going to run better on better hardware, I'm assuming, right?
I think it's just because there wasn't like mega ray tracing or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's true. That's true. That true. That true.
But it's also
Yeah.
a first party title. They know how to optimize or whatever.
I also played it on the Series S. I bounced back and forth. Great. It was fantastic. It was like 720p, but man, great. Upscaled to my TV. It looked great. It ran great. Man, I love Game Pass Ultimate. That is like the big thing for me for Game Pass is I
Game
have
Pass
to have
Ultimate?
Ultimate because I can just continue on my Xbox and then continue on my PC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fucking great. So great.
It's so. I mean, it is still a good deal. Still a good deal, but I don't know. I don't think. I
even
mean, I
looked
obviously
great
don't
on
have
my-
an Xbox, so
Yeah.
pointless for me to do. But
It still looked great on my LG 24-inch P monitor when I
Yeah,
was playing it at mom and dad's.
You brought the
It was like obviously the grays were very bright and shit like that, but like it still looked nice and it didn't fuck with my experience. Like when I was playing it through, I was like, okay, and I was just like having
you
a
had
great
headphones
time.
on. You had headphones
Yeah,
with a monitor.
yeah.
Next, sound. Sound was great. The music
Sound?
popped when I needed it to pop. Whenever I needed that classic indie title track to come in and sweep me away, nailed it.
I could have used it a little more,
Yes.
to be frank.
Yep. Yep.
But
I can
I
see
actually didn't play with headphones, so I don't really know about the detail of the sound design and stuff, but from what I could hear out of my sound bar with the sub, awesome. I love the crack of that whip. Fuck, I love it
that. I
so
love the
much.
punching. The punching.
The punching
sound.
was the
awesome.
iconic,
Yep.
like that classic indie sound. Like that crack.
Yeah.
That '90s punching sound.
Yeah.
Or like
yeah.
the '80s
So that
punching
was
sound.
spot on. Spot
Oh,
on.
man, punching sound was so addictive
So-
to punch those fascist pigs in the face
So it's fucking
and then smack
those
them with
eye
a
ties.
bottle. Like whenever you fucking smack them with a bottle, oh,
Oh man, just picking
Yeah.
stuff up and like smashing people.
you
with
pick
it.
anything up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to make it a point to pick up the most bizarre shit I could
Yeah.
find. Like if there was a fucking lute, like a guitar,
And
or
it smashes over their
violin.
heads. Like
Yeah,
it's
there's
so
a guitar,
fucking-
like acoustic guitar. You can
Yeah.
smash
Acoustic
them.
guitars lying around, violins, whatever I could find, brooms, rakes,
Yeah.
everything, hammers, billy clubs. It was
What was really
every
cool-
opportunity I
yeah.
could smash somebody over the head with. Fucking
I would sneak.
whatever.
I'd sneak into this one office, and the guy was standing there beside like a chair, and I just take the guitar, I smash the guitar into pieces over his head, and then he's like, "Oh!" And then he falls into the chair. The chair smashes into a million pieces. Fuck! It was so fucking good.
Yeah,
I'm
it
just
What if
was
like
laughing.
the desks,
satisfying.
the desks would smash? That'd
Yeah.
be
Oh, it was so, and it sounded so good when all the pieces were smashed.
Yeah,
I did
it was a
enjoy
satisfying
sneaking around.
experience.
The sneaky was good. Like the stealth was good too. It wasn't wonky really. Like the line of sight was pretty predictable, I guess you could say,
Mhm.
in terms of
Yeah,
sneaking around them and stuff like that. But I mean, Nate, you don't like the sneakies. And this was another game where you had to be sneaky and
This is
solve
better,
puzzles,
though.
which you don't
Yeah.
like.
Oh, yes. Well, okay. This was my rule. Well, I guess the puzzles are coming later. But my rule for puzzles is if I don't get it in 10 minutes, I just Google it
yeah.
because I hate puzzles.
I didn't
and
feel
just-
that they were that hard, though.
No, I didn't have to Google a lot of them. There was a few that I was like, how the fuck was I supposed to get that?
I don't think I Googled anything.
Well,
I have a huge brain.
that's true. Smooth, mushy brain.
You know what I loved going back to sound was whenever you did knock somebody out from stealth, you had this kind of tense music play where it was like just like they would do it in the film, and an indie would say like a stupid one-liner like
Yeah.
yeah.
Time to
"Nice
sleep.
to meet And that's like what they do in the movies, you know. There's always like this cue that plays, and it's like this mysterious kind of, but there's tension in it, but then it fades and releases, and you're like, shit. Because there's almost a moment of like smash, like in reality, could you imagine sneaking around, you fucking smash a banjo or like a guitar over a dude's head? You're gonna look around and be like, did anyone hear that? And so that's where that music kind of comes in, where I'm like, that must be what they're going for. Like, there's like, oh shit, there's this moment of when you're stuck in limbo of like, oh, I don't know if I'm about to be discovered.
Yeah.
And then it kind of fades away. So I loved that. At least that was one of the highlights of the music playing its role, I think, on screen.
That's what I mean when the music popped when it needed to. Like really kind of.
I love sneaking around and getting people by stealth. Like you could push people. You could just like shove them.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have to hit them with anything. You just.
And you could hear the clothes.
Yeah. There was a lot of like
pushing.
clothing and rubbing of fabric. But like I would always, if someone was standing by an edge, I would always push them over the edge, and he'd always say something like, "Watch your step, pal," and like I like watch him fall down and just splat on the pavement or whatever.
That's so good.
There was a part. There's a part that I really loved the sound because this weapon was my favorite. The frozen pipe when you go to the Himalayas onto the. There was a frozen pipe that you pick up and crank the sound when you crank someone with that fucking thing right in their head. Oh man, it was addictive. So I just sneak and then just wind up and give him a fucking smack with this pipe. Oh, it was so good. I was just smacking people with pipes.
Another really cool thing for sound was actually during the Himalayas episode, we'll call it, or chapter. You had this character, I won't try to say too much, I don't know if we're doing like non-spoilers, but this character is like screaming during dialogue, like yelling, because you're in the fucking Himalayas, it's windy, you're literally at the top of the world, like mountains, they're blizzarding outside. And with headphones, I was wearing headphones, and I could hear it, but I probably wouldn't if I were just listening out of my sound bar. But they had this amazing delay on the voice, but they only chose specific lines to highlight it with, like depending on the decibels that they would scream. So, you know, if he said a word really sharply, they would put it on that, and you could like hear it just bouncing all through the mountains. And I was like, "Fuck, that is cool." And it just made me think, like, what do they use for those delays, and like what, you know what I mean? I started thinking about how I would do it. So I think that's really cool. Whenever it starts making you think, like,
would they have went to the Himalayas to test that out and yell in the mountains? No.
I did like how I noticed that there was a lot of wind during that scene too, like windy, and like the wind would mask a lot of the dialogue. So you had to like strain, kind of be like, "Oh, what's she saying?" And like it was realistic though. Like it was real.
It's because
it sounded like there was wind blowing in my fucking ear, and I'm like,
but it wasn't even just the wind. It's the fact that they have to take into account as sound designers when you're in the winter, snow dampens the shit out of sound. So whenever you're talking, like you have to talk louder because it's not traveling as easily. Yeah. And so, but also what I really loved about the dialogue delivery, I guess I don't know if it's really sound, but whatever, is they're not just talking in like an indoor voice when they're next to each other in the blizzard outside. In like Indy, what's the guy's name? The actor, Troy Baker, is like yelling his lines at Gina, who's only, 12 feet in front of her.
Yeah, that's what I mean, because there's so much like wind noise and everything.
Yeah, because I hate when they're just like talking and like, certain games, I don't know what games come to mind, but even recently I'm like, really? You couldn't have thought to tell the actor to fucking yell because you're riding on a horse? Like, you're not going to hear anything. Yeah. So that always drove me nuts, but I really like how they paid attention to that in this.
And it's crazy how snow does that. When you're outside, like if you go outside and it's snowing, like even a gentle snowfall, like the quietness of winter, of a snowfall.
I love it.
It's so quiet.
Like when I go play with the dogs and they start barking, it's way lower. Like it's the sound, like it gets absorbed into the snow, the barking.
But the snow falling too from the sky. It's like a curtain.
It's like they're like little sound panels.
Yeah. Little sound panels.
But that's the thing. Like, imagine not thinking about that as a sound designer. That would be a poor choice. That would be ill-informed. I remember thinking that specifically in the Himalaya episode or chapter.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Himalayas, biomes, you have your typical 3: jungle, desert, snow.
Right.
City.
4 biomes. Right. Not much else. There was a really cool, like, whenever you go to China, right? That was sick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was,
that was cool.
fucking
Good
sweet.
Short,
throwback
but
too.
sweet.
Good throwback
Yeah.
to Sean Connery shooting the.
Yes. Oh,
Shooting
fuck.
the tail.
I purposely shot the tail to see if it did it, and I was like, yes.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah. And then they're just like, she's like, Gina's like, what happened?
It's like they got us.
They hit us.
Yeah,
They
man,
got us.
I just was like, that's it.
Yeah, I
Like,
laughed pretty hard.
fucking
There was a lot of
great.
good moments where I was laughing.
People who don't watch the movies, they don't get this. Okay, I think
No.
I think a lot of people who didn't watch it or grew up with indie as a kid, they just missed so much of this game, and it's a shame. It is a big
Yes,
shame.
I will say, let's say that then officially, this is all three Elder Trolls telling whoever's listening, if you haven't fucking watched the original Indiana Jones movies, you should, not the new one that came out. But the first three, you gotta watch them to like kind of get the charm of this game.
Yes,
or
but
the
even
whole
so,
experience.
but even so, like you're watching them for the first time after what, fucking 30 years.
I would even
Right,
say
yeah, you're-
just watch Last Crusade. Like you don't
Yeah.
even have to watch the other ones.
They're fucking old.
yeah, I guess.
I watched
Last
all three
Crusade
of them
is
not
the
too long
best
ago.
one. It's the third one. You don't need to watch the other two before you watch Last
No.
Crusade, right?
no,
You'll get a little more out of it if you know, but you don't have to.
I would say the Ark of the Covenant though is pretty iconic. Like the first
Yeah,
one's,
oh, Well, that's
that's
where they got the beginning of the game, right? The beginning of the game was
Yeah, the very beginning of this game is
Was
the opening
the-
scene from the first movie.
Ark of the Covenant.
what was
right?
that? Yeah,
Or is it Temple of Doom?
Lost Ark. No, Lost Ark.
Lost Ark?
Well,
Yeah,
Lost Ark.
it's like
was
the
first,
opening
right?
scene with
Look
with,
at that, Molina's face. Oh man, that was awesome.
Oh yeah,
what's his name? Alfred Molina.
What I liked,
Yeah.
what I also liked about this game is they kept it more in the religious, like the how do you say it? The theological archaeology. Is
Yeah.
that what? So they kept
Yeah, I
it
was
in
thinking
that.
about that.
They kept it in that space instead of going to outer space like they did in the fucking fourth movie or whatever.
Yeah, the Crystal
Okay.
Skull.
I mean, the aliens thing was cool too because that's a huge part of
Yes,
of
but
the ancient
Indiana
world,
Jones.
like
When you
the
think of
question
Indiana Jones, it's religious artifacts. They're all
Yeah.
religious artifacts.
yeah,
yeah,
because
All
he's
of it.
Catholic.
Okay,
You know, he's an Oxford professor. Wait, no, not an Oxford professor.
but they're always chasing something that had to be do with religion. So when I was getting into this game, I was like, okay, what is the Great Circle? Right, what is the Great Circle? And when you find it out, it was pretty sweet. Very,
yes,
very
Yes.
cool.
that was cool too. And what the
Yeah, how it so good.
I don't want to spoil too much here, but when you find out like what it was and what the hell those things you're collecting do, I
Where
was
it's
like,
going, yeah. When you find out where the
that's
story's
cool.
going, you're like, fuck,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Well, you
very
kind of learn when you get to the Himalayas. You're like, what the fuck?
yeah. 'Cause that was the coolest, probably my favorite
Yeah.
part of the game for that reason because I was just like, that's what we're dealing with here, you know. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't just like,
It's like how
I liked the mystery up until then, but
yeah, it was a mystery, and then you see what is in the Himalayas, and you're just like, okay,
right, yeah.
like
Yeah.
anyway,
Very sweet.
the story was really good. I thought it was engaging. Like the characters, we have the
Yeah, that's my
German
next.
guy is amazing.
That's-
Boss,
That's where we're going. Is the characters were superb.
yes,
I think
Yeah.
this was like the best part of the game was the characters, just like all the characters together, how they wrote them, the voice acting was so excellent.
yeah,
I can't believe Troy Baker
Yeah.
pulled off.
yeah.
You know what
man,
I
like,
see? You know what I see what they're doing?
like-
You know what I see they're going to happen? A Netflix animated show, Indiana Jones with Troy Baker as voice. I see that.
Yeah,
coming.
maybe
It would be Disney
Nice.
Plus, but
Disney for
Oh,
sure.
sure. But I can definitely see that happening because he did such an amazing job.
yeah, it
And
was
he
a good.
did-
you
It
hear
was a
what,
good impression if he's like doing an impression or whatever he was doing.
No, I think it was his own. It was like his kind of his own Indiana.
sounded
but it
like
was
him.
very close, right?
Did you hear what Harrison Ford said about it?
Yeah,
No.
it's like don't need AI to steal my soul.
Yeah. You can already do it for nickels and dimes with good ideas and talent. He did a brilliant job, and it didn't take AI to do it. So that was kind of cool.
He
I
did.
didn't hear that.
It was fantastic. It was fantastic.
Yeah, the characters are really good. In the priest in Rome, you get
Oh, yeah.
there and
Buddy, it's
your friend, and you know his face, and you
Yes.
like recognize it. And I'm like, that guy, I know this guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Do we know
Antonio?
Antonio? Yeah.
I don't remember who he is though.
He's the guy who, I don't know, do you remember that Canadian police show, SWAT?
The Canadian what?
Yeah.
Here he is. This guy.
You know his face, yeah. Get his actor. get the
Antonio
actor.
Morello. Antonio Morello.
Right there, Jason Statham.
Oh, look, there's some real people named Antonio Morello. What am I doing? Great circle. Actor. Allegiances? God.
There he is. Enrico Colantoni.
What?
That's the actor. You know his face.
Enrico
Let me see.
Colantoni.
Canadian actor.
Yes, this guy.
Oh wow. Okay, that's what I thought was Jason Statham for like a quick second.
Jesus.
go to images.
He was in a Canadian cop show.
Oh,
called,
dude, he was.
Oh
in,
yeah.
Yo,
Yeah, I remember.
he's
this guy.
a
He's a lot
friggin-
older now.
What is he from, dude?
he's got a lot of little parts, but he's in it a lot.
Just shoot me.
Yes, yeah.
Just shoot me.
yeah,
That's what I know him from.
Flashpoint
Yeah.
and Veronica Mars. Yeah,
He was
that's
the
one.
guy. He was one of the guys that worked in the office in Just Shoot Me. That's how
Yeah.
I know him.
Okay. Anyway,
Yes, that's correct.
he was fantastic. Voss. Can we talk about Voss?
Mm.
Voss was
yeah.
so great. He was such an amazing villain. I
Yes.
loved it. That voice actor was so
Yeah. When he's
Classic-
like hopping around, like
classic Indiana villain.
Yeah.
Classic. I hung on
Yeah, he's
every
really
word
quirky,
he said.
like
Yeah,
he
I
was-
hung on
he's
every word he
quirky.
said. And he's, I think, even considering it's a video game, he is one of the best, or like the best, Indiana Jones villain to date. He beats the movie villains, like
Well, who are the villains really
Exactly.
in the movie anyway? There
exactly
wasn't really a
that
main-
Nazi guy in Last Crusade who was like meh. You know
There
what I
were
mean?
kind of a couple of them. They were kind of not like a
Yeah.
one main villain. Yeah.
But,
In Last
man.
Crusade, the guy that sends him out there to find the
Yeah.
like the rich dude.
So you know what I liked
Voss was
about
great.
Voss though was Voss was the same cohort. He was a peer of Indiana in the same field of work. So like he was an expert as well, which he wasn't some fucking dumb bumbling Nazi who didn't know anything. It was just like, oh, let me at it. I want it first.
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing. He was informed. He was educated. He was like a professional at what he did, and he understood Indiana. Therefore, Indiana understood him because they were, like I said, peers, right? So I think that was actually a really cool added sort of dimension to Voss. I wasn't bored with him because I was, oh, this guy's a fucking idiot. I was just like, oh, this guy's intelligent and like he's dangerous because of that. And he knows how Indiana's mind works, so
Yeah,
he
yeah,
could be
yeah.
like one step ahead of him. I don't know. I thought that was
I like
really
how he
sweet. And
manipulated that general guy, and he was like,
Yes,
Yeah.
he's making him his
the
bitch.
insecure male.
Yeah.
Yes, the insecure male.
Gina, great. Okay.
Mm.
I love Gina. She's not
Me too.
overbearing woman character that demeans Indiana, makes him feel or look like a piece of shit. Like, tell him how to do his thing every 5 minutes.
And it wasn't vice
fantastic.
versa.
Yes.
It wasn't Indy being like, oh, I'm the man.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like they were both equally challenged.
And like the chemistry was there. It was great relationship between the two, right? And I was just waiting for them to do that kiss or that hookup like you would see in the movies. Man, it was so good. Gina was fantastic. She was fun.
Were their actors based on their voice actors / actresses?
I think so.
Assume so. The
Other
guy
than
that we just
Indiana.
looked
Okay.
up was.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Never mind then, because I was going to say she almost reminded me of like a Sophia, what's her name, from Grumpy Old Men, but when she was like young kind of thing, like that Italian actress from like the 40s kind of thing.
Alessandra Mastronardi.
Okay.
All these Italian girls. Eh?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like
Oh,
her.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
looks
yeah.
like
That's Gina.
Yeah, it's Gina.
Very nice.
Oh, she is good looking. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. These are probably older, maybe.
Oh, there she is. That one there. Underneath.
This one.
To the right. Yeah, that's her. That's Gina.
This
Okay,
one.
cool.
Yeah. Looks just like her.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Gina, fantastic.
She was a great character. She was fun. Like, she kind of had her little witty banter. She was the journalist, right? I liked that she was with you, you know, as kind of a companion. She wasn't just like a throwaway character.
It was an interesting development in the story too when you met her, and I'm like, oh, okay, who is this chick?
Yes, yeah.
And you're like, okay, this is going to be the
As the nun, she started off as the nun.
Yeah.
Undercover.
Right.
And like, who the hell is this chick?
classic.
Like, as soon as she was first introduced, you saw her like picking a lock and sneaking
Yes,
in somewhere. I'm like,
right.
wait a minute, what are you doing here? That's me.
Yeah.
That's my job. That's what I'm doing here. What are you
Yeah.
doing here?
What I loved about this game is I love how Indiana got into those stupid situations that he does in the movies in this game. Like when he ended up doing the confession in the church. Fuck, that was so fucking awesome. It's hilarious. The soldier that impregnated his mother-in-law, that was so fucking good. And he's just like,
Yeah.
okay, like,
He just punches
finds
him right
himself.
through the fucking-
Yes, finds himself in this situation. Man, they fucking nailed that. Oh man, it was
Yeah, it's a very good writing. Like the writing was excellent. It did.
You can tell that they're Indiana Jones fans.
Yes,
Like-
that's what I was gonna say. You can tell this game was made by fans of
Yeah.
Indiana Jones. Like,
Yeah.
why would you have it
Mhm.
any other way? You know what I mean? It's not like, let's say, let's take Dragon Age Veilguard for instance. Like, were these guys? You got the idea that they didn't even know the series. They weren't even fans of the original games. You know what I mean? That's what people kind of said about some of the ways that they wrote that game. This is obviously a game made by fans because there's so much fan service. It's fan service,
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It's
Yeah,
really
it was so
good.
awesome.
but like,
But not in a shitty way. Like,
no,
not
but
in
that's
a,
what we
do you call
wanted.
it?
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Like, I want,
But
indie.
even then,
I want
It
hilarious.
Was, it was fan service, but it wasn't like a obvious fan service that the new Star Wars movies did or whatever. It was like, this is a totally new story, new environment, like a new idea.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely got that sense of them being fans from examples like when you're in a room because you get captured with Gina or something and you're being interrogated, and then you break out into a fight, and then there's these like slapstick comedy moments,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. And
where you're just like, oh, that's
in
fucking
Boss's
funny.
office.
Yeah, like, you know, you're winding up to punch someone, but you accidentally elbow someone behind you didn't know that was there or something. You know, that kind of like Indiana Jones shit, the comedy and the fighting.
Yeah.
And like those were good examples of where I was like, okay, so this is good wholesome shit.
Yeah. It's just they knew what they wanted,
Yeah.
but they therefore know what fans want because they are fans.
Yeah, they are.
And
That's right.
That's
Takes them
what it
to know
makes,
them.
I think, games that do that are just like, it can't go wrong when your fans are making the game. Basically, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then
I'll
the
say
fans
this.
are going to love the game.
I'll say this. The game itself is better than the last two movies by a million cubits.
Cubits.
There's a little hint for you on what's going on.
Yeah, maybe just watch the first 3 or at the very
I
least
liked the
1 and
last
3
one.
and then play this.
I liked it. I'm going to say that right now.
I didn't see it. Actually, I didn't see
It
it. To
was-
be
You
fair,
didn't see Dial of Destiny?
I
It
didn't,
was better
I didn't
than
watch that. No.
Crystal Skull, but it was not.
Oh, it's good. I liked it. I really liked Dial of Destiny.
Huh.
All right.
Okay.
Moving on. The
right.
game, perfect length. Absolutely perfect length for me.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, I
I
put
didn't
28
get-
hours and I did like a bunch of side
Yeah.
stuff. So,
I never said once, when's this going to end? Never.
No.
Not once.
no.
I was in it right through. I was loving
Yeah.
where they were taking me. I loved the
I
characters.
didn't want to spend 50 hours
No, fuck
playing
no.
the story kind of thing.
No,
But,
there's not a single point where you were just like rolling your eyes like, all right,
Yeah.
it
No.
doesn't drag. It doesn't.
Even though I barely used the gun. How did they make me play 25 hours of a video game and I fired a gun maybe twice?
I made it a point to try and blast through like a couple of levels, see if I could do it. And
It's hard.
it's hard. Like,
Yeah, you get shot and like you die instantly.
yeah.
almost.
So I'm like
Even if I
hiding
did
and
that-
I unload a whole clip and I have to
I'm like,
run,
fuck.
pick up another gun,
Yeah, yeah.
and like
yeah,
just
that was
mow
fun.
everybody down.
I just ended up just flipping the gun around and smashing them in the head with it.
You had to at some
Yeah.
points because you had to like you couldn't reload. You had to friggin' you had to kill a guy, grab his weapon, kill the next guy, grab his weapon,
Yeah. And then you could repair.
and your
weapon with
shitty little
repair
pistol
kit.
was so crappy.
Oh yeah, it was so shitty. Fuck, it was funny. I
Oh.
loved the shovels though. I would just pick a shovel up.
Just like speaking of like, I'll move on from this quickly, but speaking of sound design, the sound of the fucking revolver
yes.
and its like gears and the bullets. Oh my God. That was probably my favorite sound in the whole game. Anyway.
I didn't even use
Moving
it. Mine was broken for half the game. I didn't even know you could repair it. Like, because I hit somebody with it, and I guess it broke, and I was like, well, where the fuck's my gun?
You can only do one hit from it, I think.
Unless you
But
can
then
repair it.
I had like a whole stack of repair kits, and I had no idea what they
I
were.
didn't know what they would do.
I was like, oh, you repair your freaking revolver with them.
And your
like I
melee
repaired
weapons.
it, but then I started using it, and it's like,
Yeah.
And you have
collect
to
books,
reload.
though, that increase
you have to stand fully still to reload. You can't move at all if you want to reload, or else it cancels it.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Did
why
you find
can't it
the
reload?
reload increase book?
Yeah.
It increases the release, the reload time at least. It didn't do a whole
No, it
much
didn't.
better. But
Yeah, I found a bunch of the
are
books. Like I had a
that-
bunch of skill points actually, because I did a bunch of
Me
the side
too.
missions, so I had a bunch of money that I could buy those books with, and some of the extra side stuff to increase my stats. So it did help a little bit, but like the melee, there's a couple stats for like melee strength increase and damage for punches and stuff like that. So you can do that kind of stuff on the side.
The game not once overstayed its welcome, metaphor. Where by the 40-hour mark, I was praying for metaphor to be over. I was fucking praying for that game. That was, God, I know how everyone, like, it's a good game. I don't want to get into it, but like way too much reading. If I wanted to fucking read, I would have picked up a fucking book. Okay. And I don't pick up books. God. But yeah, we can blast through. The last one is just a gameplay, how it handled, the cracking of the whip, the climbing of everything with the whip. Fantastic.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Loved
good
it.
stuff like that, like kind of Uncharted style.
Yeah, the sneaking around the buildings.
Yeah, I liked climbing on rooftops, and in Rome, when you just get to Rome there, it was really exciting actually, because you're like, okay, where do I go? I'm sneaking around, you're sneaking around kind of like this little back door of this little castle, and you have to like climb on the roof. I'm like, all right, let's go on the roof of this castle, and you're like climbing up like drain pipes and shit.
Yeah,
I'm like, nice. And I was just so excited to see where it took me. You know what I mean? And the story or the gameplay manifested it well, because you could walk around on the rooftops, and there is places where you can kind of go to find secret stuff and find kind of the side stuff. You can do exploring, which was really sweet. I was throwing shit off the top of this castle, and there were people like walking by underneath, the guys from like the lower floors, and I was just tossing like vases down.
It was good. The puzzles. Let's go through puzzles real quick because it's a big part of the game. We're running out of time, so we're going to get through this really quick. The puzzles. There was some where I was like, I had to Google like a few of them, but for the most part, I was able to get through them pretty easily. They were pretty easy puzzles. And then the ones I did Google, I didn't see something. I was like, oh, like there was that one with the Rolodex, and I was like, what the fuck am I missing here? I did the exact same thing Daniel did. And then my eyes didn't go there. So,
oh yeah, that fucking thing.
Yeah,
Well,
like my
I would
eyes
always ask
didn't
myself
go.
that. Is there something I'm missing? Let's look around again. And
I did.
then
I picked up every piece
saw
of
it.
paper looking for this code, and I go to the Rolodex, and I'm looking through, but my eyes weren't pointing to where they needed to be on the bottom. That got you like the extra piece of the code or whatever it was. So
No, I think
like,
they were good. The puzzles were good. It was rewarding, not being, and at the same time not being like too much.
difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly thought I was gonna have to Google that the board game, quote unquote. But
With
I
the
figured
little
out how
stick, with the little sticks on the
the pieces on the board game
in the
you know,
jungle
like
up at the top,
this
right? In the
jungle level.
game.
Yeah. That was good. I did that one.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna have to Google it, but I was like, oh no,
That was
okay,
a bit of
I
a pain
I
in the
figured this
ass.
out.
Like I
because
I
you had to
didn't
keep
Google it,
taking
but I
off
figured
and
it out
putting them on.
eventually.
You had
Yeah.
to keep
Where you had to
taking
turn
see which
them
one
and you
moves.
press. You would stand on a tile and
Yes.
they would turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
that
just
was a good
trial
one.
and error. That was a good one. Yeah.
yeah,
But
it's really-
overall,
it was
overall,
good.
like the puzzles were as much as I would take in a game. You
Yeah,
know?
they were not at all. I hate the puzzles. I hate puzzles. They were not at all irksome to me.
Yeah.
Like as someone who hates
Exactly.
the puzzles,
And I
They were
hate
totally
puzzles.
manageable. Sure, you can Google them, but like the only one that gave me the most trouble was the code
Yeah,
the code.
just
the
because I
Nazi
didn't
code
see
for it.
something. I couldn't.
Yeah.
They weren't pointing my eyes somewhere.
Yeah, I might have got it eventually, but I'm not entirely confident.
So,
Anyway,
the take from this is I hate reading and I hate puzzles. Okay? I'm just a big, dumb
great game though.
gorilla. Great. But, yeah, the puzzles were great. The eating of the food, I loved the crunching and the finding of like the bread and the chips and whatever you could eat.
Yeah, you can collect food and fruit to like buff yourself for stamina as fruit
And, like, armor.
Bread
It
was,
was like an armor.
health or armor or whatever. So a lot of all those little things are very helpful, especially toward the end, the last level. I made sure I was totally full on bread and stamina stuff, and it fucking came in
yes.
handy.
And it's like different
So-
kinds of bread depending on where you are. Different like
Yeah, exactly.
depending on what region you're in. It's like it's a pita bread or whatever. When you're in Egypt, there's there's different kinds of food and stuff. I like that.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Okay, so we're going to wrap it up. Just give me a couple of dislikes. If you could name a couple of things that you disliked, let's do it. Do you want me to start?
Dislike the
I've got a list so I can start, and then you guys can think.
okay.
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 A couple of dislikes. No photo mode. Terrible. In a game
Yeah.
like this, where you're in catacombs, a photo mode. Like what? No photo mode. What are you fucking thinking? No stealth takedowns. There was no cool like animated stealth takedowns where you could see Indiana taking someone clubbing in the back of the knee or something.
You didn't like the clubbing him in the balls one, and you didn't see that one?
Yeah, they had stealth
Did
takedown
they?
animations. It's just they didn't. Oh yeah.
What? What do you
Yeah,
mean?
like if you go up to a bad guy and sneak up on him, Indy changes the animation of the club, and then that's when you strike, and it's a stealth
yeah,
takedown.
yeah.
He like pokes him in his eye. But there's no like third person
Yeah, yeah.
animation of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
No.
It's just, but it is a specific stealth takedown.
Also,
animation.
no stealth distractions. I couldn't throw a bottle and the guy go, "Oh, what's over here?"
Yes, you could. I did it all the time. All the
I
time.
tried
You
it.
do
It
that.
wasn't working.
You could throw items.
You can throw.
Yeah,
shit
but it would
and they'd be
never
like, "The
grab
fuck?"
their attention.
You maybe too.
Oh,
you
for me
threw
it
it too
did.
far. Then probably.
Maybe.
Okay,
yeah.
so my dislikes are non-existent.
This game
Perfect game.
is totally likable.
Perfect game.
So 100%.
No, there was a few
out of
points.
100%.
There was a few parts where I was waiting for something to happen to like engage the next step, and the X button would never show up. So, like in the last fight,
Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck's happening?" In the last fight where you had to take Gina's hand, never showed up.
Yeah.
It did not show up for me.
Oh, interesting.
Yes,
really?
and then there was
I just missed it. I just didn't see it because it was above my eye line.
well, I
So
ended
it's
up
like, what
googling
am I
it because I
doing?
was like, "What am I missing?" And they're like, "Oh, Gina's hand is supposed to." You're supposed to, and I was like,
Yeah.
that wasn't happening. And then there was another part where when you're getting into the ship into the Himalayas, where you get into the ship for the first part, like you turn around, you're supposed to help Gina up with the X
Yeah.
button. That never showed up. I had to like close the game, relaunch it a couple times, and then like
Yeah, so bugs.
finicky
some
finicky
bugs.
shit. where
Yeah,
the
it was
X
a bit of
button-
jank.
Yeah.
There was. I did
It's
notice
Bethesda,
that.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, they published it. They didn't make it. But yeah, you guys.
No HDR. No HDR on
For
PC
you,
was
yeah,
kind of
for
annoying.
PC,
It would have made it
Oh,
so much nicer, since it looked like the game is visually amazing already. Like that little extra juice would have been real nice. I don't really have much else. Like, I mean, I don't know.
it's hard. It's hard to find the tough. I think the jank would be it for me. It's just there were a couple things where I was like, "The fuck just happened?" Like,
Yeah, a little
there would
bit
be this
janky.
strange glitch
Yeah.
or
just janky.
actually, what
and
annoyed me a
HDR.
little bit were the RB the whip attachments sometimes
Yeah.
wouldn't come up if you're standing on a ledge and you're fucking close enough. I know I'm close
Yes.
enough for that
You have
prompt
to
to come
look
up.
right
it
at
wouldn't
it.
come up, and then I'd like fall off and then have to.
That would happen a
reload.
lot when I was trying to jump over like spots, and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay, where is it?" And then I would jump down
Yeah.
into the
Just a
chasm when
little
I'm
bit of-
supposed to swing. Yeah.
finickiness in the I don't know what you call that in the controls or the
The mechanics, I guess.
the interactions.
Yeah.
Some interaction
But,
bugs.
like,
But other than
Other
that, like
than that,
I'm giving
it
it.
was
This is like a
very
9.
Seamless.
It's like a 9 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. So final thoughts, real quick. Wrap it up. Let's go.
9 out of 10.
Definitely a 9.
Yep.
Very accessible. Great adventure, great music, great cinematic experience,
Yes.
especially if you're in it for the experience. Yes.
Yeah,
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10 for me as well. I don't know if this game will be enjoyed by non-Indiana Jones fans. I hope it is, and I wholeheartedly recommend it to Indiana Jones fans or non-Indiana Jones fans. I just think you're going to get more out of it if you grew up with Indiana and watching the trilogy and going through the stories with Indiana, and then you play this game. It's just so good.
But if you're also
So
if
good.
you've never seen Indiana Jones, or if you're a fan of like Uncharted, of National
Exactly.
Treasure,
That's what I have here. Yeah.
stuff like that. Like that's
like-
what this is.
Yeah, it's like getting our first taste of like a PS5, like Sony exclusive, like on Xbox. I think this is like a really rich story game, and it was just so fun. In the it was just so good. Definitely, 9 out of 10 as well for sure.
It has a stamp of approval from
Yes.
the Elder Trolls.
Yep. So, am I running this out here?
Run it out. First episode back is
All
done.
right. We're all done here. Welcome back, everybody. Alrighty, this is it for this week's episode. We want to thank everyone for taking the time to listen and or watch. Please be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and give us a rating and review on Spotify or Apple if you could. It helps us get out there to more listeners who may enjoy the show. Also, we are now part of the Superpod Network, a network of podcasts you can find, browse, and check out over on superpodnetwork.com. Remember, you can always leave us a DM on Facebook and Instagram. We're not on Twitter anymore because I can't stand Elon Musk. So we're over
Another
on...
thing that happened while we were gone, Elon
Yes.
Musk became a villain.
He became the president, pretty much. So I've jumped off of Twitter. We're now on Blue Sky, so you can find us there on Blue Sky if you want to leave us a question. Also, remember, you can send us anonymous questions for our new segment. Check it out on our link tree, okay? That'll be in the description and all the profile bios. Thanks again, everyone, and we hope you have a wonderful day or night, whatever you're listening to this. Peace.
Peace out.
See ya.